Hey guys, today I'm going to be making a little bit of a seasonal treat. I'm going to be making a squash soup. This is pretty much essential considering how unbelievably freezing it is and how much squash is about the place. So if you've got pumpkins that you've carved and you're bored with now, or if you see the pumpkins are on offer, get them, make them into soup. So for my soup, I will be using 3 red onions. I know you normally are like, Bridie, why are you using red onions when you always use your frozen onions? Well, I had to buy red onions for something else, so now I have a big bag. So now I have to be that person and cut up all the onions and cry like a pathetic wimp. But nonetheless, I saw a recipe and it had red onions in and it sounded nice in comparison to the normal white onions. So I'm powering through and I'm doing it. I have half a butternut squash. I normally use the top half for chips because you don't have to deseed that half. But I have a half left. And then I have this beauty. I don't know what kind of squash this is. I got it in Aldi. It just said squash. So, but it's very nice. I was just going to keep it for decoration, but I realised it would soon go mouldy. So I've decided that I'm actually going to use it for something, and that is this soup. I've got 2 carrots, and I'm going to be using white wine stock pot and chicken. I'm only using chicken because I can't find another veg. Of course, if you're a vegetarian, don't use the chicken one, but my go-to in soup is mainly a chicken stock because it's like a clear stock. These white wine ones are free. I've talked about them before. They're so good if you're using risotto or want to like make something a little bit more wine tasting without having to use the sins. Tesco also do a red wine one, really good if you're making bolognese or chili, or if you're making a stock for like a beef casserole, that's really good. So how I'm going to make it is I'm going to cut my squashes in half and I'm going to roast them, because I'm not even going to try and attempt to peel this because it'll probably end up with about this much squash left after I try and, yeah, you get the idea. So I'm going to cut that in half, put on just a roasting tray and whop it in the oven for as long as needs be, probably about half an hour, just on 200. No fry light or anything, just throwing it in. So I have cut my squash into quarters and I've cut my butternut squash into half and I've de-seeded them. Not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd be here for a solid 20 minutes getting all the seeds out, but maybe it is my now used to squash ways that I know that it's all about the spoon. All about the spoon and the digging. Squash 101 over here. I have fry lighted it just a tad and put some salt on, just because I do want them to roast nicely. But I'm really enjoying the colours of this squash and I'm really looking forward to seeing what it tastes like. I presume it's just going to taste like butternut squash, but I'm excited. And I've got my seeds here in my little jug, really handy by the way if you're chopping and prepping and all sorts for soups and stuff, to have like a little jug or a little tub nearby and just put all your leftovers in there, like all your like carrot ends and pumpkin seeds and all that business, because it makes it so much easier to clean up, and I know how much of a nightmare it is. So you just have to scoop it all in here, and I put it in my compost bin, which is a newfound love of mine. So yeah, I will be putting these in the oven for, I mean, half an hour at least, but just until they're like fork tender, and then I can scoop it out and then put it in my soup. So I've just got my 3 little red onions and 2 carrots in here. Don't be alarmed by the chunkiness of it all. I will be blending this, so I just want it to be a little bit softer. I'll just let that cook for just like a little while. I've also just got my squash out of the oven, all looking, smelling amazing. It's probably been for just under an hour, so I don't know where I got half an hour from because they weren't nearly as done as they should be, but they're just like a little bit soft, like when you can put a knife in it and it'll be like squidgy. It's not done all the way through, I don't think, so I'm just gonna scoop it out and then put it with my soup, with my onions and my carrots, and then pour the stock in and leave it probably about 15-20 minutes. Obviously this is somewhat cooked, so it's not like it needs ages and ages to cook through. So this is the aftermath of the peelings. All my squash. It's very nice, and it is all chopped up and in the stock. This is all the delicious goodness. So there's the 3 onions, the 2 carrots, and all my squash in there. And I will just let it simmer now for as long as it needs. It doesn't matter if it all the squash goes really mushy, because I am blending it. If you wanted to do like a chunky soup rather than a blended soup, I would cook the carrots in the stock for longer, so it didn't so it balanced it all out, if that makes sense. I will be adding some herbs to this. I'll be adding salt, pepper, rosemary, and probably a little bit of garlic, and then just letting it simmer away. Forgot to mention as well, I'm going to be adding some red chili flakes in here too, because I do like a bit of heat in a butternut squash. It really adds to the warmth of it. It's not really to make it spicy, but just to bring some added warmth. So my soup is bubbling away, and it is time to get my immersion blender out and blend this bad boy up, because everything is cooked through. It is smelling absolutely divine right now, and it is looking pretty amazing. All the squash, as you can see, is all mushed down, and the onions have softened, and so have the carrots, so I've just got to blend this up now. So as you can see, I have blended all that up, and it is looking that absolutely amazing orange colour, very autumnal. You can see the little flecks of chili in there, so I'm really excited to make myself a bowl of this. So there we are, my bowl of delicious squash soup. I've just added a light dairy triangle in there, just to make it extra creamy. Of course you could have added it to the whole batch, but I'm really excited to get stuck into this. So thank you for watching as always, and please subscribe for more.